Good evening. This is Ken Long from Tortoise Capital with the review of the daily trades for March 25th, 2013. This was a day of being a squirrel gathering acorns. We were prepared for a volatile day in either direction, and the market voted up with some news that Cyprus solution had been found. That was short-lived. But we were prepared to go in both directions today, and so we started off with a regression line crossover with XIV, that's the volatility ETF. Large gap up from the quiet close. The VWAP held. After about 12 minutes in, I decided to play the upward motion at 23.15 with a 30-cent initial stop. We ride that up till the regression line crossover occurs, exiting at 23.35. That should be 0.6 R, sorry. The second trade, the simultaneous trade, was TNA, that's the triple Russell. And it's basically the same pattern. We get on board that one at 88.90 with a 30-cent initial stop. There was a hesitation here. We get bottom ticked out at 89.40 for a 50-cent move. That's 1.5 R. Shortly thereafter, within 3 minutes, it takes off again, so we re-enter at 89.65 with the 30-cent initial stop. We ride that one up into the regression line crossover, which is occurring about the same time. Actually, a little bit later in the morning. Sorry. So that's 89.65 to 90 on the 30-cent initial risk. That's about 1 R. The next trade was the regression line crossover on the upside in XIV creates a regression line crossover on UVXY going the other direction, so now we're on the south side of the river. Regression line crossover occurs. Watch the ribbon entering the river. Everything was still going up at this point, even the TNA trade, and so wasn't in a hurry to make this trade. But it crosses the VWAP, holds the VWAP, and starts taking off again, and at this time the market is starting to roll over. So this looks like a really reasonable entry at the time at 7.82. With a 20-cent initial stop. It runs right through the Bollinger Band mean, leaves the river. It starts rolling over here, and in order to preserve 1 R, we go ahead and take the exit at 8.02. That is also followed shortly thereafter by a re-entry. So that's that first trade. Regression line crossover occurred just off the chart. You get the entry at 8.02, ride it through here, exiting at 8.02. That's the same trade. And then again finds support and north of the river. Now it starts to take off again as the 30 crosses the Bollinger Band mean, leaves the river. Now we've got the beginning of trending behavior here. So the re-entry occurs at 8.05. So we only gave up 3 cents on that one. And then with a 20-cent initial stop, we're able to ride that up. It goes to almost 8.50. And then pulls back, and it looks like it's starting to form a regression line crossover. And to preserve that win, we go ahead and exit at 8.40. So that's another 1.5 R. So in the early trade, we get a number of short-term, what I think of as acorns, or to feed the bulldog here, or feed the squirrels, and just plan it as we go. I had some work to do later in the afternoon, so after these, I go ahead and just get flat for the rest of the day and reduce my exposure to 0. So that's Ken Long from Tortoise Capital with the review of some trades of the day for March 25th, 2013.